Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Real Time Car Show. Coming up, we're going to have our very special guest, Mr. Michael Woody, with Woody's Waterfront Car Show. It's coming up. We're going to be there.
Oh, man.
So we're going to talk to Woody. We haven't talked to him in a while. We're going to talk to him about the car show, and we're also going to talk to him about the company that he represents here locally called the Appraisal Network. Is that what it is? It's the whatever. We'll figure it out. Auto Appraisal Network. That's what it is.
What's the company you keep?
It's the that's exactly right. So anyway, he's going to be on here with us in just a second. Conrad's going to have the car clinic. We'll have this week's auto news. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday. Let's just go right down to the well, I was going to say the Gulf Coast, but I guess you could kind of call it that.
Well, I think he's in Cyprus, but that's okay.
Are you in Cyprus? What are you doing in Cyprus?
He lives in Cyprus.
You live in Cyprus?
I do.
Well, I guess that...
doesn't even live in the country.
You used to live down along the water.
That's correct. I lived in San Leon.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Well, I knew that there was some sort of connection between San Leon and Michael Wooding. I didn't know that you have moved up to the country 40 years ago. So
going to the country.
Yeah.
Do.
So, hi, how are you?
What's
going on?
I'm doing fine. I was just curious of a couple of things. One, I've never seen the back end of a Mazda or Monza.
Really?
You know, I was always ahead of
Ooh.
Okay.
Secondly, I see that very active dog laying there. Looks just like mine.
Well, that's Susie, and
That's the Studio Beagle.
yeah, my Studio Beagle, the love of my life, and she likes to sleep a lot.
Yeah.
Something that I'm not familiar with and haven't been for quite some time.
Don's
And eats.
boring.
Yeah,
Sleep
pretty
and
much.
eats.
So Michael Wooding, and we've got the Woody's Waterfront Car Show coming up. This will be, well, I was going to say the second annual, and I guess this would be the third annual.
Third.
But we've missed a year.
Yes, you did. And wasn't that a shame?
Yes.
It was for all of us because I have to tell you that we love Woody's Waterfront Car Show, and apparently a lot of other people do too. It's very popular, and it's right on Galveston Bay,
Yes.
and it's a great setting, and people love coming down there. And it is a judged show that you have trophies, awards, if you will, and we are going to bring the entire crew down there this time.
What?
We are, and we're going to set up in the pavilion that has a big bar in it. So
And very good Bloody Marys.
and very good Bloody Marys. So we're going to just we're going to pull that tap, if you will.
But they also have awesome food there.
Yes, they do.
That was.
I'm going for the
And
food.
what is the name of the restaurant?
It is Top Water Grille.
There you go.
Top Water Grille.
And I have to thank Robert, the owner, for allowing us to have this show there. He's been very gracious. Was just as excited to have it this year as he was the very first year.
Well, after us coming
Well,
down
and
there,
it's
it might be
and
the
it's
last
such
year.
a beautiful location.
Above and beyond that, I'm extremely amped about this year. You guys think it's been good before? Wait till you see it this year. We've added some goodies to the show. One, like you said, the response has been overwhelming. We've got well over 1,200 people interested in coming to the show. We've got spots for about 350 to maybe 400 cars if I really squeeze them together. Last year we had about 230, so it's going to be a little bit larger than it was last year.
No, it's going to be a lot larger than it was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've upgraded the band. We've got a new band this year. They're out of Galveston, Texas, called the Crossroad Refugees.
There you go.
So that's going to be pretty good. We've contacted the Tops boys out of Clear Lake to bring over some of the cigarette boats and park in the marina there, so the car guys can look at these high-dollar boats and the boat guys can look at these high-dollar cars.
Nice.
So I think that'll add a little aspect to it too. And I don't know if I should say this or not, but in promoting my YouTube videos of the show, I've noticed that I'm missing an aspect that a lot of other car show videos out there have much bigger draws, and what they have are some beautiful girls. So we did hire a couple of models to come out and pose with the cars this year.
Well, you've got the 4 of us.
Yeah, I would have done
Yeah,
it for
what
free.
else? Yeah.
We will be happy to show up in a thong bikini.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, no! That
yeah,
Don
yeah.
can be in his thong.
Well, I
the
was
rest
going-
of us will just kind of be support.
Let me
guys.
just add that I think that as far as bra size is concerned,
Oh,
we're probably pretty competitive with the girls out there that you're going to bring.
Yeah, but we're all A cups.
I need,
well, speak for yourself.
I need to take my boa to the dry cleaner.
Well, it sounds like a ton of fun. So let's get the details. This is going to be on the 25th.
September 25th. Actual show registration starts at 9. And this is another new aspect to the show. Actual show registration starts at 9. Obviously, if you've been around car shows for very long, especially here, people that want really good spots start showing up at 7:30.
Oh, yeah.
Right, oh, yeah.
You know, so if they do, we'll be able to accommodate them. I'll have people there. But what we've done this year is added a new aspect to registration for the show. There's a gentleman that has created a app for judging car shows, and it seems to work very well. It's called Car Show Fun. So it's carshowfun.com. And you can go to carshowfun.com and pre-register your car now. So
Okay.
that you don't have to stand in line or worry about getting a spot or anything like that. If you pre-register, you're guaranteed a spot.
How much does it cost?
The show itself is $25 for show participants, and it's free to the general public.
Oh, that's
not
nice.
bad.
That's nice.
How many judges do you have for this?
Well, with that many cars, we're looking at having 10 different judges this year.
Nice. Okay.
And
Different-
we're getting
different
some
classes?
people, you know, getting some people from some quality spots like the Driver Source here in Houston that handles the classic Ferraris and Lamborghinis and that type of thing. So they're well familiar with those cars. We've got Michael Kamers, which is a dealer here in town that deals with a lot of Corvettes and so forth. So he's real familiar with those cars. We've got mainly car people that will be doing the judging. So
And what time does judging begin if registration starts at 9?
judging's probably going to start right around 10 o'clock because the way this program works, you don't even have to pick a class for the judge. Now, everybody that signs in for the show will be put in a class, but as far as the judging goes with this program, I can take a judge and just send in down a straight row of cars and say, judge every car on that row.
Oh, okay.
And he'll do it on the app in the phone, which downloads to the computer.
Well, that simplifies judging.
It'll show us, if we have ties for best of show or this, that, or the other. It gives us all that information so that we can go back and get this judging done in a timely manner.
All right, let me ask you this. I was actually thinking about bringing my 20-year-old Corvette down there.
Oh, boy.
But
I've seen that car.
I know. And so do I. Yes, you have. So do I. Am I going to be judged? I don't want to beat out somebody that, I don't want any favoritism or not favoritism. I want to.
Now your car has to go into the modified category, though, because you're putting a new shifter in.
Yeah, and another $200 will get you to
It doesn't get to go in the stock category. Now it's in the modified category.
Whatever. I'm not going to. I don't care what
Well,
category.
what I would suggest for you, Don, having seen the car before, I would put it in by year. We did change the classes a little bit this year. We have specific classes for Corvette, for Mopar, for Mustang, and for one other. But I can't
Lemons.
think of it off the top of my head. So we moved all of those cars kind of out of the general judging, and then everything else is done by 10-year increment. Okay.
Yeah.
1930 and pre, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. So I would think if with your car, if you put it in with the Corvette, you're going to have some pretty stiff competition, and I don't think you'll have to worry about taking a trophy.
Okay, well, good. Well, that's good. I mean,
if you put it in by the year, you might have
As a 2000 to 2010, maybe some others won't show up.
well, you never know.
They'll be intimidated.
So, okay, well, I think that I'm going to attempt to do that. That means that Mr. Z, somebody else is going to have to take all the equipment down there because for the broadcast, and I'll just have to take the Corvette on its own down there on a Saturday morning.
Well, if you'll bring the Corvette, I'll bring the gear in the truck.
And then Conrad is going to bring the Oldsmobile.
I've got to get it out of the garage and get it fixed.
Conrad?
Excuse me?
You had the car there last year, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, I did. Actually, I even won an award for it. Thank you very much.
So this year, he's going to take it out, get it washed because it hasn't been washed in over a year. We're going to wash it. I'm sure that he will not clean out the trunk. We'll just be all happy that he gets it down there.
I need to get the ignition switch done, but I've already started working on that.
We could clean out the trunk down there.
We could clean out the trunk down there. Yeah.
No, there's not enough room on the.
We could put it in the back of his. Anyway.
But one of the great things about going to Woody's Waterfront is the car show is on the waterfront, so it's on that. It's like
a little peninsula sticking out there.
Yeah, it's a jetty. But it's right there on the jetty, so you get some beautiful background shots of the Gull or of Galveston Bay behind you, and they're not close enough so you can't see the tar balls. But it is a beautiful, beautiful shot of Galveston Bay behind you. Or if you turn around the other way, real nice shot of Top Water Grille, and if there's going to be some cigarette boats in there, that's going to be good. How come they haven't had to change the name of cigarette boats? Is that politically correct?
Vape
Don't
boats.
they need
Change
to become
it to vape
long, skinny boats now?
Vape. Well, if you're out there, you'll.
All right, so let's change gears here just a second. We'll get back to remind everybody about the Woody's Waterfront Car Show in just a second. I have to ask you, how are things going with the Auto Appraisal Network? I see you posting on all the time that business is booming for you. I mean, you have done more appraisals here this year than I think that you have in all the years past.
I have, up to date, yes.
Yeah, and you've done some pretty cool cars, too.
I do get to see some nice ones. I am going to start modifying. I don't know if you can tell or not from the gray beard and a little bit of gray hair, but I am old enough now to take Social Security. And I don't know if you know how that works, but unless you're full retirement age, you can't make but so much money a year.
That's true.
And still get your Social Security. So I'm limited. I'm going to have to start being limited. And what I've decided to back off of is the pre-purchase appraisals that we do. Now, I'm going to continue to do them on older cars because I'm so familiar with those cars. But as far as late model stuff like Ferraris and Porsches, and I'll do finance appraisals on them or insurance appraisals on them. But the pre-purchases I'm backing off of.
Well, you can always just lower your price.
I was thinking the same thing. So you don't
just do it at a lower price.
Don't hit the limit.
Cross the
threshold.
The limit for Social Security.
Well, there's a thing called retained earnings. I think is going to help me out.
Oh boy!
Seeing as I'm an owner in the company, we can retain some of the earnings and distribute them over future years.
It's what CPAs are for.
Yes, there you go. They're good. They do have value.
Well, yeah, you've done some pretty cool cars. I think just recently you posted, was it a 59 or a 60 Chevy Impala, or might have been a Bel Air with a 348 tri-power on it. What a cool car.
That was the maroon one.
That was a 59 El Camino.
Yeah.
What a beautiful car that was.
Yeah, that's a fairly rare car. They didn't make a lot of them, and the majority of them that were out there are rusted to pot. So to restore one, you either have to find something fairly clean to start with or do a major amount of rust repair.
Yeah, I was impressed that it had a 348 3 deuces sitting on it.
Yeah, and that was factory too.
Well, see, I didn't know if it was or not, but it was pretty cool to look at it.
By the way, speaking of older cars, do you still have the Pontiac?
I do. I upgraded it with some nice wheels this year, so it looks a little fresher. But yeah, it'll be at the show. Needless to say, I won't be a participant in my own show.
Well, I have to tell you.
Will be there.
Yeah, but you'll have a good parking spot.
So it's a two-door station wagon, and it is really, really cool.
That's where I'll be hanging out.
And the nice thing about it that I really like. What year is that thing?
It's a 1956 Pontiac 860 handyman wagon.
Yeah.
Well, it's got LS1 in it with a 700 R4, Ford 9-inch rack and pinion steering.
Tubbed out.
Well, what I really like about it is the fact that it's a driver.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I had show cars for years. I had one that I had for, 4 or 5 years, a 93 Corvette. Chromed out suspension, 4-stair induction, ZR1 wheels, Grand Sport fender flare. I mean, everything you could do to the car I did. I had it color sanded. And I toured Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, and New Mexico with the car. After 4 years, I had 2,000 miles on it.
Wow.
That was just putting it on the trailer, taking it off the trailer, and putting it in the show. Okay? Maybe once in a while driving around the block. When I sold that car, I couldn't remember what it was like to drive it.
Well, I'm familiar with that, and I swore
never do that again.
That's exactly what I said after I sold the '77 Corvette. I swore I'd never ever do a Trailer Queen again, because it's an awful lot of work and really no payday other than a good old boy pat on the back. Hey, car looks really
nice
good.
Car, dude.
That's about it. Yeah, no, I'm all over that. So
the fun's taking it down the road and just watching the reaction of people as you drive by, because there's not a whole lot of folks driving out there today that were around in 1956. So
well, and yours is very much of a unique car that you're really not going to cross paths with other places.
No, there's only one other here in Texas that I'm familiar with.
And one of the things I really like about that are, and I'm going to give it my phrase, are the luggage strap stainless steel straps on the hood that really give the car quite a unique view from the front. I don't know what they're called.
Pontiac. Those are called Pontiac Waterfall.
Pontiac Waterfall. So
nice.
It's very, very cool the way it sets the hood up as it's coming up behind you in your rearview mirror.
Well, Michael, so where do we go to register our cars for the Woody's Waterfront Car Show?
www.carshowfun.com.
www.carshowfun.com. Woody's
Correct.
Waterfront Car Show coming up on Saturday, the 25th of this month. We look forward to seeing you, and I know that Mr. Mars has some work to do to make sure that we get our signal out so we can do our broadcast from the pavilion out there next to the bar.
And I'll be signing autographs.
That's a great spot, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
That's a great spot.
We like
Yeah,
it. And we're
doesn't matter what you're doing when you're at the bar, it's a great spot.
And we're going to claim it again. Woody, it's great to see you. Good to talk to you, and we'll see you here in a few weeks.
I'll have you guys some show shirts ready by the show.
Sounds good, man.
Beautiful.
Thanks again.
Thanks.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. And Conrad usually has something interesting for us.
Well, we're still on brakes this week. You know, we talked about brakes last week. Well, many people take their brakes for granted. The system often goes unnoticed and unmaintained until, oh my gosh, now there's a problem. You know, in Houston with the high temperatures and the stop-and-go driving, you know, the severe summer conditions can add up to much more stress on brake pads, rotors, even brake fluid. So with those factors in mind, let's talk about the 5 reasons your brakes make noise. Well, one of the noises it makes is, my brakes are squealing. Well, depending on when they're squealing is what's going on. If they're squealing while you're just driving down the highway at low speeds without your foot on the brake, generally that's an indication that the pads have worn out and the little squeakers are rubbing on the rotor, and that's designed in to identify the fact that you need to have your pads replaced. Most car brake systems do that. When you get to some of the high-dollar European stuff, they don't do that, but they do have an indicator on the dash that will warn you. Another thing to learn about when your brake pads are wearing out, as the level of fluid in the rotor goes in the, the level of fluid in the master cylinder goes down, that generally means that your pads are wearing out because that fluid's displacing the width of the pad as the piston pushes in on the caliper. So that's a good indication. If the level of brake fluid's down and you're not leaking, you very well have have pads that have worn out. Another thing to be concerned with on your brakes is how often should I change my brake pads? Most vehicles in the 30 to 40,000 mile range is when it's time to get your pads replaced. Anytime you bring your vehicle into a quality shop, they should do a multi-point inspection. When they do the tire rotation and they have all 4 tires off the car, that'll give them an opportunity to do a brake inspection on it. And from there, they'll talk to you about the needs. And most of them are going to give you a wear. Green, yellow, red wear indicator of how much pad life is left on your brakes. Now, some vehicles last forever on brakes. Chevy trucks will go 100, 120,000 miles on brakes, and that's driven a little bit by the type of material that they use. So make sure you're getting your brakes inspected on a regular interval. What if my brake pedal feels squishy? Well, if your brake pedal feels squishy, generally that's an indication that you have a fluid issue. And that fluid issue can be some moisture in the brake fluid or some air in the brake fluid. Now, air in the brake fluid's a little unusual if nobody's been messing with it. Moisture in the brake fluid's a little bit more common. So what happens is microscopic amounts of moisture get into the brake fluid, and then when you come to a stop, the rotor and the brake caliper get real hot, and that heat transfers into the fluid. So those microscopic amounts of moisture that are in the brake fluid turn to steam, and you can compress steam, but you can't compress a liquid. Again, back to Science 101 is you can't compress a liquid. But once the liquid gets hot and there's a little bit of moisture in there, you can get that steam, and that's what gives you that spongy brake pedal. So again, that's an indication that you need to get your brake fluid changed. If you have a leak and your brake fluid has leaked out, that's a serious problem, and you need to get your vehicle towed in somewhere to get it repaired. So if you look in the master cylinder and the master cylinder is empty of fluid, call a wrecker. Now, most cars today have separate reservoir systems for the front brakes and the rear brakes. So the master cylinder, maybe one half of it will go down, but the other half will stay up, and then within the analog brake system and all of that interaction. And they do that for safety reasons. Years and years ago, they had a single reservoir, and if you had a brake leak, everything leaked out, and generally the car wouldn't stop. So in the probably, I'm going to say 60s, late 60s, they went to a dual master cylinder, and that is so even if one side of your brake system leaked, the other side would still get you stopped. But one of the things about brake fluid is it needs to be changed on a regular interval because it absorbs moisture, it degrades, and it corrodes. So my opinion is you need to get your brake fluid changed about every 30,000 miles or every 24 to 36 months, whichever comes first, because flushing out all that old funky brake fluid and filling it up with fresh new fortified fluid is the safest way to keep your brake system operating normally. So with that, get your brakes checked on a regular basis, change the fluid on a regular basis, and back to you, Don.
So there are lots of recalls, as there are every week. It's pretty common these days. High voltage battery may catch fire on your 2017 to 2019 Chevrolet Bolt EV. Don't drive it. Send it to the Chevrolet shop and let it sit there.
Do you know they have absolutely stopped production on that vehicle because of that issue that they don't have resolved yet?
Correct.
Wow.
The Bentley Bentayga, I know that you have one, the 2021 model year. It's being recalled because of ESC malfunction may cause loss of vehicle control. Oops.
We actually do have a common friend that has one.
We do?
Stan.
Oh, does he have a Bentayga?
Yep.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, and the only reason I know that is that's what they hauled the queen of drag racing around in was a Shirley, and that's when I saw that they had the Bentayga.
Cadillac XT4, Chevrolet Malibu, 2016 to 2021, rear seat belt retractor not secured properly. The Chevrolet Bolt, again, 20 to 22 model years, the battery's going to catch fire, so keep it outside or to send it to your Chevy dealer.
Park it way away from your house.
Volkswagen Taos 2022, the fuel line connector may cause a fuel leak, which could eventually wind up into a thermal event. Side airbag weld stud may fail in your Ford or Lincoln 2021 model years of the Explorer and the Aviator. The Ford F-150 for 2021 front seat belt webbing is routed incorrectly. It's being recalled. Dodge Challenger for 21, instrument cluster malfunction, and in the Jeep Wrangler 2020, fuel supply line connector may leak. So those are your recalls. Oh, by the way, as far as the chips, the microchips and all of that, Ford Motor Company on Wednesday informed employees that it would be extending downtime for the nation's best-selling vehicle, the F-150 pickup, in scaling back production of some of its largest, most profitable models because of the ongoing semiconductor shortage. Automaker said in a memo that the truck side of its Kansas City assembly plant, where workers build the F-150 pickup, will remain down the week of September 6th. Truck production there has been idled the past 2 weeks. I don't know who it is that's breathing heavy in my ear, but I've now solved that problem. Ford's other F-150 plant at Dearborn Truck will remain on one shift the week of September 6th after falling to one shift this week. GM said it's going to cut output at its light-duty pickup plants this week as the global microchip shortage continues. Plants Fort Wayne Assembly in Indiana and Silao Assembly in Mexico are expected to resume production of the Silverado and GMC Sierra on September 13th. That's a ways away yet. So, and with that, that's our news for this hour. We've got more next hour, and we hope that you'll stay with us. We're going to take a quick break now. You are on the In Wheel Time Car Show. We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, September 18th at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Wheel Time Car Show. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, September 18th, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location. Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The In-Wheel Time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com.